see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Because your business matters.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you from Burner Cigar Studio here in our brand new studio. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village. Hang on a second. I think I got my video and audio going for my live Facebook. Okay, I that should be good, Joe. We got that. We hope to inform and inspire and entertain you here at WSIC News Talk, because that's what we do. 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone, and this is where your business matters. I hope that you by now should know that we have been doing this well over 11 years, going on 12 years strong. We have over 920 interviews that we have done over the years of small business and community leaders. We have 338 videos in my YouTube channel. Go to Joe Vagnone Business Broker. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker on the YouTube channel. And we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to that. We have 159 subscribers. We need one more. Joe, I bet you're not a subscriber. Joe, if you would just subscribe to my, I could get to 160. You understand? I mean, again, we've been doing this show going on strong over 11 years, and we thank you. This is WSIC, where your business matters. And as always, when we have our show, we have a co-host for the entire month. This month, it is my friend, where she will admit it or not, Solonia Wade-Baskins. Baskin. I gave her the nickname Solo. Solo, how are you, young lady?
I'm good today, Joe. How are you?
I'm doing great. Solo is a co-owner of Progressive Business and Finance. And speaking of co-owner,
absolutely,
because we picked on your man so much last week, he said, I'm going to straighten this out. And he's here with us today.
He is, because Joe is such a bully. Everybody knows it. But he's here today.
Sammy Baskin, he is the co-owner with Solo, Progressive Business and Finance. Sammy, my friend, thank you for being here, buddy. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you being a good sport, too.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I heard my name ringing in my ears ringing. I had to show up.
So, Sammy, by now you should know. I go to the website, I check things out, right? And I go to your website, which is a great website, by the way, and I really encourage people to go to your website. So, Solo, what is a website? Best way for them to get to it?
Our website is www.progressivebusinessfinance.com, and it's new. We've upgraded it to accommodate a more personal feel so that people can get to know us through our website.
Let's talk about that website,
yes,
okay?
Absolutely.
Because I went to About Us.
Yeah.
And I see your beautiful photo. You showing a little leg. You looking good. And you got all this master's degree, accounting degree, risk management, foundation in Manhattan and New York from the what? I mean, you got all manner of stuff about you. Then I scroll down and it says, and Sammy. You don't give him no props. You don't give him nothing. You just say, and Sammy.
You know what? But everybody knows that my husband... See, Joe is always starting trouble, but we know that. But everybody knows that my husband is actually the brains behind the genius. So he is the genius. I just like the glitter and glam.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
It don't look like he a genius for what you did to the website, okay? All right? Now, Sammy, I just want you to know, I'm a third party on the outside looking in. She got all manner of names and letters behind the name. And, you got you one heck of a woman, right?
Yes.
But
most
she ain't giving you
definitely.
no props
But
at
I want
all,
you to know
man.
he created the website, not me. So-
Oh, now that
Right? Isn't that
now that
interesting?
makes sense.
Now he bought me a T-shirt that says "Trophy Wife," so I'm trying to figure out is he using me on that website? So
Okay, well, why don't you take a look at his and give him a few more things? Because he little weak on his 2-sentence.
Joe,
I'm
it is
Sammy.
what it is.
I'm Sammy. So we're picking on you, Sammy, because I know you the man, right? I know you the man carrying the water up the hill. I know that, right?
absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because some of the stuff that you do, it's really hard to get into the industry and create these relationships and these connections. Talk just a little bit about that.
Well, I always tell people we're in business, but we're not in business by ourselves. So connection is everything. So we made a lot of connections throughout our 4 or 5 years in business now. So just making those strong connections, and not being scared, just reaching out to different people, different lenders, and making that connection,
When you say not scared, do you mean not being intimidated by dealing with some large lenders and some large money people and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, just reaching out. God haven't given us a spirit of fear, so I'm reaching out. I'm talking to everybody.
So
That can help.
So when this started, did you tell Solo, hey, let's do this, or did she come to you and say, hey, let's do that? How did that happen?
Well,
don't look at her. Come on.
So
you own the show. She put you in the hot seat.
So her thing was her father owned business, a traditional business,
Right?
Where you go in and you're working it, you're there.
You roll
all
up
the
your
time.
sleeves and you work.
Right. And she was like, heck no. That's what she was thinking in her head, what we would be doing. And I'm like, no, because I don't want to do that. But she came from a family where they own dry cleaners and I mean laundromats. Laundromats and club and video store. So you had to be in those spots.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
We can run. I'll tell people I can run my business from my phone.
Right.
So it's very different. So as we went along, she's like, okay, but in the beginning, no, I don't think she was really on board with it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I remember you having those conversations with me. That
Absolutely.
He lived his business, period.
And I told you, Joe, you remind me a lot of my dad.
Oh, yes.
How
Absolutely.
how you
I'm
are
positive
in
me and your
your
daddy get along great. Absolutely.
Absolutely. That he was such a hard worker, a man to the breadwinner of the family. And so he was awesome, but he just worked very hard, and I did not want to.
And if I run into those kind of people all the time, and their family members don't want their businesses either.
Because it makes it feel like all you're going to do is work. But now we know that it's a smarter way.
Well, okay, no, what I'm going to say is ingrateful, but that's what your daddy's thinking.
Yes, that is.
My daughter, ingrateful. All that hard work I did, she's going to take the money and run.
That's it.
Let's take a break and we'll come back. You are listening to Joe Bagnone Pick on Solonia, founder of Progressive Business and Finance. This is WSIC, where your business matters. We'll be right back. Okay, this one side is bothering me. It's wearing me out. Because it's giving me an echo or something. Especially at the beginning, it was really hard. Got it? A fine man.
A compliment, something, yeah. Joe, I did not know that you started the Lake Norman Women magazine.
Say what?
I did not know that you started the Lake Norman Women magazine.
I sure did. It's been over 15 years ago. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because you didn't think I really believed in women, do you?
I really
You thought
didn't
I'd just
know
take
that.
advantage of them and such and
See?
whatnot.
Listen,
That's probably what happened. It was by accident. Actually, I'll tell you the story.
I didn't know that.
I'll tell you the story. My brother-in-law came to me years ago. He owned one of the largest event planning businesses, did a lot of weddings in North Mecklenburg. And he said, hey, Joe, I ran into... Oh, I ain't got time to tell that story. I'll tell you. It's kind of fun. All right, Maria, let's see if Joe messed this up. What you say? Leave me alone, Joe. Oh, that's much better. Much better now. There you go. Now I can hear what's saying.
There you go. Look at that, Joe. You moving up in the world.
There you go. No, if he's really moving, the button wouldn't need to be twinkled with.
It would have been done already.
Exactly. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you. No account, no good for nothing, aggravating, such and whatnot. Julie say, Sammy the bomb.
That's what Julie said.
Oh, but that's what Julie
It's
said.
Julie.
She got your website on
One
the
of
book.
my favorite people, Miss Julie.
You got your website on the book. Why I got that echo? I'm picking up their mics or something. Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you from Burner Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Brookdale Village and in Denver on Highway 16. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. And I'm here with my co-host for the entire month, Solonia Wade-Baskin. I get to call her Solo.
Absolutely.
And Solo has drug her husband here, torture him, put him in the seat, put him in the hot seat. We call him Sammy. Sammy is the co-owner, and he actually the man that, he's the horse that pulls the cart. Let me just put you that way.
All the way from Charlotte.
Progressive Business and Finance. Thanks, both of you got to be here. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
So you delivered to me a list of 10 different types of financing.
Absolutely, yes.
When I read the title, I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be boring.
Boring? Is anything I ever do boring, Joe?
But no, you are not boring.
Right?
No.
Okay.
But the list, I was afraid was going to be boring.
Yes.
And so I started reading it. And it's really interesting.
Yeah, and I realized that a lot of people are into their business. They want money, but they don't know what type of loans are out there to help them.
You are in half of these I've never heard of.
There you go.
Right? So I'm like, okay, this is going to work.
Yes.
So here we go.
And it's the perfect time to have it because he does all the work. I just kind of bring people
so
in.
in case somebody really wants to know what this stuff is,
He's
Sammy
the
here.
perfect person. There you go. You ask him.
And Sammy, I'm going to ask you where some of these come from, like where you get the money for these. So that'll be kind of interesting.
Yes.
So let's try and do that, okay?
Absolutely.
So everybody listening, don't be bored, okay? Business funding options. These are kind of interesting. So different places to get money.
Yes.
All right. Did you make this or did Sammy make this?
Joe,
Honestly, tell the truth.
She made it.
Sammy?
She made it.
I asked him what to make. I asked him to what I told him what
Sammy.
I wanted
Now the
him
reason
to
why,
make. There we
Sammy.
go.
Now the reason why I asked that is because
I
when we're
plead
done.
the fifth, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, Sammy.
Joe, I'm his wife. He got to go home with me.
okay.
Don't make him. Don't.
We partnered in that list.
Like I said, I got a place in the basement.
Yeah.
You could. Okay. Well, the reason why I asked that is because I was going to say at the end of this, if there's 11, let me know if we missed one. So you're saying probably not because you have already reviewed this.
Thumbs up. Good.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay. All right. See, you ain't. I wasn't trying to
Joe.
create a problem. I'm just trying to give him a chance to.
I approve that document.
Okay. Got it. He wrote it. Trust me. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Number one. Business funding options. Number one. Standard business loans, fixed term loans for expansion, working capital equipment. We all get that, right? That's I know that, and quite frankly, those are getting harder and harder to do.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
You want to add anything to that, Sammy?
You haven't gotten to the one I really want to add.
Okay.
To really say something about it.
Okay. So number 2 is business lines of credit. Business people aren't aware that they can get these lines.
Yes.
Very similar to we do this for our home finances all the time, but business people don't realize this is available.
And it's the same concept as a home line of credit, a business line of credit. You may get 100,000, but just say you don't need that much. You only want to use 25,000. You are only the interest is only charged to that 25,000, and so you have the rest of the remaining 75,000 to just have it as a cushion. But a lot of business owners don't know about that. But that is a good loan to get.
And Sammy, I'm curious because the truth is, I don't even really know how to ask for that, right? Like this is where you guys can really be helpful,
Yes,
right?
yes.
How do I go to the bank and ask for this type of a loan?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is in those times when we ask, how long have you been in business? What does your credit score look like? How much revenue do you bring in a month? And then we can say, well, you know what? A perfect loan for you would be a business line of credit.
Right.
And it would be accommodating to you that you can have it, but not necessarily have to use it.
Right.
And how good are you with managing your money? It's really good.
Which goes to I think number 2 or number 3 on your list last week, which is if an opportunity presents us, you want to be ready for
you
it.
have the funds for it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
there.
Number 3, invoice financing to sell unpaid invoices for immediate cash. I can't tell you that's one of the reasons small business people fail. Because they sell, don't collect the money, have to build
Absolutely.
something out again before they've collected again. And when you look at their balance sheet, they've got receivables that are due. It's just not coming in for 90 days.
Absolutely. I heard somebody say, why do people believe that paying a small business is on their own timing?
Yeah.
They don't take it as serious as
That's right.
a major company, right? Or a major business. They take their time because you're a small business. And a lot of small business owners are suffering from that.
Yes. Okay. Number 4, equipment financing. Now, my background's in the restaurant business, so I've done a lot of this kind of stuff. This really is a great way to quickly get what you need and get up and running. People are not aware how fast they can make this happen. It really is a financing source that I really like a lot.
And it's
easy to get.
And it's an excellent source for just a medical offices, chiropractor or a dentist, somebody you don't necessarily want to buy the equipment, but it keeps upgrading every few years. And so you can lease the most updated one, right? But next year, 2 years later, something else is going to come out. So you just want to lease the equipment. So it's really resourceful for medical, hospital. They really do find a benefit in that loan.
Okay. Next one, merchant cash advance. I've not been a fan of this one.
No.
We don't really.
Yeah. And
push that.
We don't push that. And one of the major reasons why we put that on the form is to let people, business owners know to kind of stay away from that. Something that says beware of danger. That is one of them because you get it quickly. The interest rates are really high. And a lot of business owners that come to us already have those type of loans, and they're suffering because they're trying to pay you back.
And it messes up, Sammy, your cash flow. It's hard to manage and budget.
Yes.
Those bother me.
So that's like a beware.
Yeah.
Okay. Venture capital and angel investors. Sammy, I thought that's only for the big guys.
No, not only for the big guys, for the smaller companies, the startups, especially those guys.
So how many of your clients come to you and say, can you help me with venture capital and angel investors? Because I don't hear that
I was about to
from
say,
my end.
Yeah.
None.
We don't get a lot of those, but what we do get is we get those people who are in business and all of a sudden they need money. They have an emergency. They can't make payroll. We had one lady that come to us and was like, I need 10 grand or my business is going to close. So what we want to push is the business line of credit. That's probably the most important thing on that list. So you'll have those emergency funds. Don't come to us when a lot of people come to us too late.
Right.
Set that up while your business is doing good. You know, because you think about the people in Western North Carolina when a hurricane hit who didn't have that, who businesses closed because they didn't have any money. You know, their business closed. They didn't have that cushion. You know.
Okay, number 7, crowdfunding. I've never done it, but boy, it just seems like easy money. I mean, I honestly, I've never done it. Does North Carolina allow it? Because the last I heard, they didn't. So I wasn't sure whether that had gone through or not.
No, and one thing about us too, we work in all 50 states.
That's what I was about to say.
You know, so we're not just limited to
North Carolina.
Yeah.
So sometimes we get people from Jersey. We get people from Florida. So we have to have the different California.
Got it.
We have to know the different rules and regulations and different loans that, like you said, or are legal in those different states. And so,
right. Because North Carolina's been working on that for some time now.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Got it. Does it work out well for the clients to do that crowdfunding?
Sometimes it depends on what they need, right, and the type of business. But it is a lot of different people having say and hands into your business.
Right.
So it can get really, really touchy. It's not one that we actually promote so much, but it may be needed if.
I mean, the concept sounds great until the person that invested in my business is mad at me because they got no return or didn't get what I promised them.
But more and more
that
people.
That could be 100 people.
That's true, but more and more people are doing it. They're doing it more and more. Now you hear about people who are buying homes coming together. 3, 4, 5 people are coming together and buying homes. So more and more people are doing it.
Okay. Number 8, grants and government funding. Can you help people do that kind of stuff?
So what we do is if you have a grant and you're expecting money from the government, we have lenders who would pay you the money that you're expecting. So you don't have to wait. You know, getting money from the government can take a really long time, right?
Especially with all the unknown going on right now. You have if you're expecting money from the government, don't hold your breath.
Good luck with that.
And so a lender know that you're supposed to get it. So we have a lender that may say, I'm going to buy this from you. We know you're supposed to get it, but we're going to help you out so that you can move forward.
Okay. And then customer financing. Offer payment plans for customers, third party. You know, I used to sell I was in a closet manufacturing business. I did a lot of this. I called it third party financing, where I found somebody to finance their $3,000 closet. Is that what this is?
Basically, that is what it is. It's just that small business owners think that only the big guys can do it. And so now we're opening avenues and ways and different strategies to help little guys or medium-sized businesses get into that, the realm of thing and just opening up the business.
I'll tell you, if there's one way to increase your business, I think my business increased by about 27 to 30%.
We've done more of those than anything.
Financing.
Just by offering, and you don't have to take the hit of not worrying about not being paid. So it's awesome.
And in the 10th one, commercial real estate, that makes sense. I'm positive I would come to you guys if I needed a loan for a commercial building.
Yeah. And I always tell business owners, it gives you control, right? You don't have to be kicked out of a place or occupation because the owner's selling or they no longer want it. It's yours.
Got it.
And so.
Okay. We did good with that list, didn't we?
We did. We did.
Yeah.
Okay. That was business funding options, and you can get this entire list if you just go to Facebook. Julie will have it on there for you, and you can see that list. Or you could just go solo, and she'll be happy to get that for you.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll be right back. Okay, Sammy, you added a hot seat.
Woo.
You made it.
He's on woo.
You know, I don't like having this in my face.
I can tell.
You know, I
You gotta have another one. Unless he tells you no.
Your turn. You're up.
See, and I like that better than the head.
And you can stay there this time.
Yes, that's
You
why
don't
I
have to
sat
make
here.
any
I was
musical
like,
chairs.
yes.
Right there.
See, and I like this one. I don't like the headphones. I like this. I just,
That right there for you.
I appreciate you doing that, Sammy. Thank you.
Okay. Just normal volume? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, put it in his face anyways. So you're not going to be on video, but you'll be on audio. So if you want to say anything, just jump in. Okay?
A little breathing room there.
A little breathing room, right?
All right. Richard, are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
You got about 3 minutes to run out of here, or you in it?
Once I'm in, right?
Can't run after that, Richard. Is your wife listening, watching?
I think so, yeah. Well, she's listening. She's heading home. So
Okay.
get the kids from my mom, so she'll be listening in probably.
So Julie got that list on the book.
Okay.
William.
Oh yeah? I tried to live in Mooresville for a while and I just couldn't do it. It's too busy for me.
Really? I guess if you're used to.
Farm kid. I like being out in the fields. I built a house in the middle of a hayfield. Got grass around me. Can ride my motorcycle, four-wheel. We got a side-by-side. We can just go rip around the farm on it. Yeah.
I drive up in the hills and see these farms with this big old ball of hay, and I think that's the kind of business I want. Just watch a hay. That seemed like a good business. Watch the grass grow and then put it in a big ball.
My brother still does that.
Can I make any money selling big balls of grass?
It's a struggle.
Yeah.
Farming's a struggle. My brother still does it. He's got 4 chicken houses, 4 poultry houses, and
Really?
tobacco in this area is kind of, it's pretty much gone.
Right.
About the time I was graduating high school, it was phasing out of this area, and I think it's mostly imported now. But poultry's still a big thing. At one time it was, yeah. I mean, it pretty much built like Winston-Salem and Raleigh and towns like that. I mean, they're pretty much built from tobacco. So
I could see me sitting on the porch, smoking a cigar, watching my business grow, and rolling up the grass and selling it to somebody. 30 seconds. Thank you. Solo, it can happen.
It can listen. Anything
That's
is
a
possible.
whole lot of grass, though, ain't
That's
it?
a lot of grass.
I don't think I'm a country boy.
You don't think so?
I don't think I can.
Not.
I love being outside.
5 seconds.
But
Julie says she thinks I can raise chickens. Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you from our Burner Cigar studio here. We're in Statesville, right outside of Statesville. Burner Cigar is in Brookdale and also on Highway 16. They are great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars. Go on by and see them and tell them Joe sent you, and the first cigar is on me. You are listening to WSIC. This is Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagno, where your business matters. And my co-host for the entire month is Solonia Wade-Baskin. I gave it a nickname, So Low, because if you want money, she will get it for you. So low
There you
interest
go.
rate. Progressive business and finance. And we have relegated Sammy to the couch.
yes.
He's here. Those of you on the book watching, he's here, but we relegated him. So now
the
he's
couch.
just on audio.
That's it.
Not a video. So again, Sammy, thanks for coming. I appreciate it, buddy. ProgressiveBusinessFinance.com. Good. They've got a great website, and they really can help small business people in what they're looking for. Our guest today is Richard Evans. He is the owner of Reaction Plastic Solutions. I got that right, Evan?
that's correct.
Richard, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
So what is Reaction Plastic Solutions?
Well, we work in plastics, hence the name. So anything injection molded, roto molded, any kind of product that's made from plastic material. We handle pretty much design only. We're not a manufacturing company. We have a manufacturing background, but we do product design, injection mold design, simulation, a little bit of 3D printing for low volume prototyping. So we dabble in a few different industries, medical components, automotive components, firearms, and then just pretty much anything you can think of that someone wants to make.
So I think you think people know what it is you do. I don't
Nobody
think they
knows.
do. Right,
Nobody
right.
knows.
I want to try and clarify. Let me say it, then you can correct me, right? if you've got an invention or a thought or an idea or a concept, Richard is the guy that can make it come to life. Is that a fair statement? I mean,
That's correct. Yeah. So it starts with us. So before you can
Right.
manufacture a product, you have to have a product. You have to have a concept, and a CAD drawing. So we handle the engineering, all the CAD work, whether it be, let's say you had an idea for a new microphone holder for your microphone there. You redesign something that would be more streamlined.
Right.
We could take that component, we would design it up in CAD. We could offer you pictures, rendered drawings of what it would look like. You kind of get some tweaks. I don't like the way that looks, just appearance wise, not necessarily function. Then at that point, we can run it through a 3D printer, give you a few samples to try out, say, I like this, I don't like that, whatever. Make some tweaks, and then at that point, you go to mass production with it. So we're the front end of that, not the end of it.
So, and you've got plenty of resources to say this, with this product, we think you ought to consider these two manufacturers or whatever.
Right. So we have a huge network all over North America. Even some companies in Costa Rica we work with. That is their main job, is they do high volume manufacturing of plastic components. So we handle the mold design for them, the engineering side of it for them. They have the molds built, and then they run them in injection mold presses. So, so anything plastic. Short story: you take plastic pellets, you heat them up, shoot them into a mold, cool it down. It comes out looking like a part.
So is it just plastic, the end result that I'm looking for? Because I used to think I would come to a guy like you, get it made in a plastic first, and then decide whether I wanted it metal or not. Or I mean, walk me through how that would work if I'm not sure the product that I'm going to make, whether it should be metal or not.
So a lot of it's going to depend on volume and cost. And obviously function of the part. So it could go either way.
So that's always a decision you'd make after you've done your design work and everything.
Yeah, and it can be designed for plastic injection molding, or it could be designed just for machining or stamping, or another manufacturing solution that's not injection molding as well.
Right. Okay. So Richard, now you look like you maybe like 20. You understand that, right? you were young. I mean, Solo, he's young. Look at me.
He does look young.
He's young. He right. Like, you didn't wake up on a Tuesday and decide you know how to do this kind of business. Walk me through how you got here.
Well, I'm actually 43, so thank you. But
I would not have guessed that. Would you have guessed that?
No.
Okay.
And a woman would not have said that on the air. So I congratulate you for being so
you got to
transparent.
accept it. You just got to go with
There
it.
you go.
So it was not really my choice. I grew up on a farm, tobacco farm, poultry farm growing up here in Statesville. And when I got in high school, I started riding and racing motorcycles. And I was determined I was just going to, when I graduated high school, I was going to race motocross or have some sort of career in motocross. Probably, fortunately, I'm guessing it was probably a good thing. My mom didn't think that was a good idea. So she linked it up to where I got connected with a local company down in Mooresville. They are part of a company or a program called Apprenticeship 2000. And so my senior year in high school, I went to school half a day and went to work for half a day. And then they actually sent me down to Central Piedmont to get a technical degree in manufacturing. And, that basically applied mostly to the field. It didn't have a lot of the fluff in there that most schooling does.
That's
so
right.
It was very dedicated to the trade. And then I started from the bottom. I ran machines, I cleaned the floor, mowed grass, drove trucks, did a little bit of everything. And then, slowly worked my way up through a company as a CNC machinist. But I always had a kind of a knack for computers as well. Fortunately,
because this is a technical industry.
Yeah, it's very technical, and it's getting more and more technical. At one time, manufacturing was, a dirty job, hands-on, sitting out there, working with your hands. And, it's evolved a lot into a more technical trade and a more technology-oriented. So I grabbed the computer side of it very quickly, which landed me into the design department at that company. And then after about 16 and a half years there, I had, a good opportunity to go to another company and manage that company. So I was, for about 5 years, I managed the entire company, all the P&L and everything, all the employees.
Right.
Huge corporate company, like $1 billion a year industry. And,
right.
Wasn't really my thing, working for a big company.
So I'm curious, would you say that the easiest way in is through the design? Because that's where you came. Like, it seems to me like that's where everything starts, right? Mm-hmm. It's the idea on paper.
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
The best approach is definitely getting the hands-on background first. So that is, if someone was to come to me and say, what makes your design company better than another design company, it's definitely going to be that we have a manufacturing background. So myself, I have one full-time employee. We both went through the same program, and we both have the hands-on manufacturing experience. Like, we were on the floor, we built the tooling, we worked on them, we serviced them, we did all the troubleshooting on them. So we understand how to manufacture and what's involved in it, and what makes a good quality mold.
That design might look pretty, but it's not going to work.
Right.
Here is where there's going to be a problem.
So when we're drawing the mold, we're doing the design side of it. We already have that in our mind. Of how would you machine this? How would you manufacture it? And and I think that is the key, in my opinion, is having that that experience on the floor.
Now, what are some cool designs that you've created?
So recently we've got a lot into motorhomes and marine. So we've done for a big motorhome company, like the big drive type motorhomes, we did all the design of the headlight bezels, the turn signals. And then we recently also did all the console design for a big company that makes pontoon boats. So they basically give us a shell. It's just a outer shell of what they want the piece to look like. And then we go in and we start splitting it into pieces that are moldable. We put all the recesses in for all the GPS or the speedometers, all the stuff that goes into the dash of the pontoon boat, flip open cup holders that have storage compartments in them inside a pontoon boat, stuff like that. So we do a lot of cool stuff like that. It's kind of fun. It's like real world stuff you see. We do a lot of medical stuff, which is also neat stuff. It's just not something you see in real life. You hope you don't see in real life because it means you're in the hospital.
Yeah, is that right?
And Solo, you hit on what I'm trying to do with this interview is let people see that Richard is actually designing the things we take for granted, right?
Exactly.
Like he just talks about a turn signal switch, or somebody has to come up with the idea of where the button goes, what the button looks like, and that's what you're doing. It really is interesting, sort of the beginning of any type of action that somebody's going to take.
Right. Yeah, any plastic component, it has to start with an idea, and the idea has to turn into something that you can actually see and hold in your hand. So we help with that part, come up with all the creative side of it, and then give someone to look at and tweak from that point.
Now, one of the things I see on your website, you also do a lot of components like I need this, right? Which is something nobody may see, right? It's inside of something else, or a lid to something or so. Yeah. Like, where does that come from? Like, how does the client know to come to you for that?
So that's mostly through our connections we already have that are molders or mold builders. So they get a job. So we work a lot with big cosmetic companies that make face cream, stuff like that. They want to get a mold built. Those companies come to us to have the mold design. It's a pre-designed component, done by their creative team.
Also, we've come up with this idea. Can you make it a reality?
Right. So we help with the designing for manufacturing side of it at that point.
Okay, cool. I know this is like every day for you, but it really is intriguing stuff for most of us small business people.
It's always interesting to try to explain it to someone that's never seen an injection mold.
Right, right. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk some more. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnon. We are talking to Richard Evans. He is the owner of Reaction Plastic Solutions. If you've got an idea, he can make it come alive. You are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll be right back. Is there something you want to talk about, Richard, or are we a conversation going in a good direction?
No, it's great.
Okay. Sammy, why you got to be quiet over there, man? You got a microphone. You can talk.
What's the most exciting thing you ever put together?
And
see, I didn't know what kind of show. This might be G-rated because I'm thinking when you think about plastic, I'm thinking about some adult toys that
I mean, there is that side of it. I've never worked on that side of it, but I hate to say this, but most of that stuff is probably made in China.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm positive of, Julie don't do nothing by mistake. I'm sure she wanted you to meet this man because I'm positive there are some clients that could use some financing and stuff like that. So I definitely think you guys should share information. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd say going back back in time, I worked on it before I knew it would be something important in my life. Was when I was at my previous company, we did a lot of work with Medtronics, a medical company, and we built a bunch of tooling, designed and built tooling for insulin pumps. And about a year and a half ago, my daughter, she's 6 now, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Kind of, out of the blue, one of those things that hits you. Yes. And, now she's insulin dependent. So she relies on insulin to be administered, at every meal and throughout the day. So now she actually wears a pump. So it's kind of one of those things that you go back and think about it, like 5 years ago, I worked on this component, the now is like, one of the things that helped save my daughter's life.
Right.
It's kind of crazy. So
that's a good story.
Yes.
Well, my son's got the same thing, got the same pump. So that is interesting to hear you tell that story.
Connection, yes.
I think the guy we met in Costa Rica, the company he owned, that's what he does, something similar to what you do. Plastic molds that.
Oh, yeah?
I forgot the name of his company. Yeah, I forgot the name of his company. He's in New York, right? When they out of New York? Oh, I can't think of his name. We in Costa Rica. Remember they're from New York?
Janine and
Yeah, her fiance.
We come back, I'll have about 9 minutes or so.
Okay.
Solo, you okay?
I am good. Yes. Looking at Richard like, what are you talking about? Like, what, Richard?
You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagno, and this is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. And I'm here with my co-host, Solonia Wade-Baskins. She's a co-owner of Progressive Business and Finance. Go to her website. You can go to the book right now. That's Facebook, if you don't know Joe Talk, and get their website as well. We are here with Richard Evans. He is the owner of Reaction Plastic Solutions. Richard, my friend, thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. It's great.
So walk me through, how big is the company? You got 500 people walking around, or you got a little office with a computer? What does this look like?
Yeah, not yet. But no, so it's myself, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to work from home or pretty much anywhere. And I have one other full-time guy that he works from his home as well. We have about 3 or 4 people that we can rely on, also that as contract sources when we need it. So we, like any industry, we have our ups and downs. Where we get overwhelmed and we have enough work for 10 people, and then times where we go play golf for a couple of days. You kind of need both.
Sure.
So yeah, we don't have an office building. We're not doing any manufacturing really, so we don't really need that that critical space for that. But I built the office at home where I can work out of. My family likes to go camping, so we also work out of our camper a lot.
So that's funny. That's funny. I've heard of garage. I work out of garages a lot. I haven't heard of campers. That's funny. So the actual molds themselves, are you making them, or is that something that got you?
No. So our customer, big part of our customer base is the people that are manufacturing the molds. The company's manufacturing the molds. So
they'll call you and say, "Hey, can you help us with this?"
Right. So we have I call them extended family. It's not like one-off customers. We have a group that we work with regularly.
Right.
Which is kind of how I base our business success, is how many repeat customers we have. So we, I like to get in with a company and become an extension of their engineering team, basically. And, they have us, on call. They send us stuff. We send them a quote, they kick us off, and then we start working on their tooling. We know them as well as we know, as they know themselves. We've been working with them long enough. We know their standards. We know what they expect. But yeah, so they call us, they got a part, it may be low volume where it's just a single cavity tool. It may be high volume, like something in packaging. So think of like mouthwash containers, the screw on cap for that. We recently did a project for that where it was, it's a mold we designed that it makes every 8 to 10 seconds, it's going to open and it's going to drop 72 parts out of it, 72 plastic parts, because very high volume. Think of how many millions of bottles of mouthwash there are on a shelf in every store you go to. So, so depending on the complexity of the tool or the the necessary volumes, obviously dictates that. But we work with that customer to decide what they need, and then we handle that design for them.
And you just said something I gave no thought to until you said it, which is it might be something simplistic, but you want 72 out of that one mold instead of 70, right? So those types of things become really important.
Yeah, so your more complex parts, like automotive parts, for instance, we do designs for airbag covers inside your vehicle. Behind that pretty airbag cover is a lot going on, to make that airbag cover stay into the steering wheel, house the actual airbag itself and not just fall out, or come out, what's the parts that are not supposed to come out when you have an accident.
So what you're saying, I shouldn't be pulling on that thing.
No, probably not. Don't take it apart. There's stuff in there that will explode. A tool like that is a lot lower volume than a cosmetic cap, for instance. So, they're going to make, a few 100,000 parts a year off of that mold, where, a mold like a mouthwash cap or a makeup jar or something like that, they're going to make millions a year, stocking shelves with them. So it varies by industry, varies by product.
Right. So do you do this whole sales call thing, knock on the door, hey, this is what I can do for you guys? How does that work? As you're nodding no, but I'm thinking, dude,
I probably have maybe two customers. I probably have two customers that I've actually reached out to and got that way. The majority of our customers are word of mouth referrals, or I meet through a networking event through basically a referral. So I do no marketing other than I have a web page, I have a LinkedIn page. But then I go to expos. So like next week I'll be in Chicago.
Oh, sure.
At a big plastics expo up in Chicago next week. And I browse the floor. I've never had a booth, I've never exhibited. But I know most people at the show. So, I can stop by, one of my friends' booths that they're set up. And while I'm there, 10 people are probably going to walk by that might need my services, and I'm going to get introduced to them. And, and then my name gets passed along to someone else. So it's about 99% referrals or word of mouth.
Now you said most of your businesses do word of mouth.
Yeah.
From me, how would I explain to somebody what you do in a very simplistic way? I mean, I know you gave us a lot of information, but how would I, if I wanted to refer you, how would I know that you are the right person for somebody who's in need of your service? So
on a non-plastics industry, like if you're not involved with the people that are already building molds or designing plastic parts, it's going to be more the people that have an idea, like Joe mentioned, someone that has an idea for a plastic part. So we have a local guy that reached out to us a while back. He had an idea for a firearm component, something he wanted to design and manufacture for firearms that, he thought was going to be groundbreaking and, pretty cool product. So we worked with him. So if you run across someone that, they said, hey, I got an idea for this piece, whatever the piece could be, and I want it made out of plastic or it could be even made out of metal. But I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how to design something like that. What do I need to do? We would be the people that could help with that.
And the truth is, what I'm hearing is your buyer profiles from both ends of the spectrum. The idea guy, right, that doesn't know how to get started, and the manufacturer that needs your help to efficiently design something for a mold.
It's from one end all the way to the other end for sure.
Right.
So someone that doesn't even know how to manufacture a plastic part, but they know they want something out of plastic, to the people that have it as full-on design team, and a marketing team picking out, designing exactly what that part should look like to make it look ideal for the shelf and everything like that just needs help, manufacturing experience.
Solo, did you know there's a big expo for plastic?
I had no. Is that fun? I mean,
it's
is it
great.
exciting?
I bet it's huge.
So that's where that's what I enjoy is the walking around talking to people side of it. So that's, before I started the company, it wasn't as much. So I started the company about 5 years ago, and so I started going to these shows and started meeting people, and I realized that's where I thrive.
Really?
Is going around talking to people and just meeting random people I've never met in my life and just talking for 30 minutes about plastics.
Richard, I'm telling you, that is old school, and it is still the absolute best way to get to know and understand your industry, meet people, and generate real good leads.
Yeah, I'd much rather meet you in person and talk to you in person, or talk to you on the phone versus
social media,
emailing, or
it still works. The old school method.
You and I,
It still works.
Solo, you and I are making fun of the Plastic Expo. Sammy over there laughing, saying, of course they're a Plastic Expo.
Yes, I'm gonna have Richard make me something, but we'll talk about that after the show.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest expos in the world is in Florida, and it comes every 3 years. It's in Orlando, and I mean, so we loaded up. It was last year in May, and we loaded up. Actually, the guy that works with me and both of our wives, we got.
That's when the RV come in.
Well, we didn't take an RV, so we splurged a little bit.
Right.
We went and stayed in a real nice resort down near Disney, and took the wives with us, and had the family watch the kids and stuff like that, and made a weekend into the week of it. I was down there all week, and it's huge. I mean, you can spend all week down there and not see everything.
And when we first met, I told you, like, when you hear Sammy say, I got an idea I want to talk to you about, I'm telling you, there are so many people I've met in my world that what you do is just, they're in awe of it because they don't know how to get started. And
Right.
I'm here to tell you that Reflection Plastic Solutions is the start.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
starts with a
a
napkin
call
sketch.
with you is the start.
Yeah, I say it starts with an idea or a napkin sketch, and we can take it from there and actually put it into something you can rotate around, look at, and
Oh, Sammy got an idea. He's already got something in his mind. He's been thinking about for 7 years, and now he finally can have a conversation with you about it. I can tell that's happening because I see that all the time.
I see the gleam in my eye.
Yeah, there are so many people in this world that think like that, right?
Well, I mean, think of all the inventions that actually hit the market and
Right.
are successful. They started with something like that. Someone
right.
had to help them. Most of them don't have the experience to draw something in CAD, or they may take and glue something together. And that's what some of the stuff we do, how it starts is they bring me something that they've taken
Right.
and
You're like laughing at it.
glued
Okay,
stuff
dude.
together and sanded it down, and they make like, I want this.
Right.
And it's a homemade something out of wood.
Right.
And it's so needed. When you talked about the airbags in the car or the insulin, it's so needed. Yes. So thank you for your service. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, Richard, we've only got about a minute or so. What would you say to somebody in this environment that wants to get started in business? Because it's tricky right now, man. It's not as easy as it used to be, right? What would you say to them?
Just be ready to work hard. That's the only thing I can say. When I started it, I put in a lot of extra hours that didn't really want to do, but
And come Friday, nobody was handing you a check.
yeah, I mean, I was sending invoices hoping people were going to pay it, But no, I mean, it's I think you got to put your heart into it. Number one, believe in it, believe in yourself, and have a good structure. Don't just pick something out of the air. Make sure you got something with some backbone to it that you can scale. And
But you had connections as well.
Yeah,
already,
and
right? 'Cause
that's
you
it.
was in that industry for such
I've been in the industry for
time.
so long. I met so many people that, when I started it, I already had those connections and could leverage all of that to, build the business quickly.
Solo, he still looks like he just got out of high school.
That's a good thing,
I
Richard.
appreciate that.
Listen, say thank you. He doesn't compliment
thank you. I
anybody.
appreciate
You
that.
gotta say thank you, Richard.
Okay, it was a compliment. Hey, Richard, thank you, my friend.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much
having
for
me.
being here. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and please give Richard a call. Reaction Plastic Solutions. You can get that on WSIC Facebook as well. You got an idea, he can make it come alive. We're also talking with Solonia Wade-Baskins. She is the co-owner of Progressive Business Finance, and the man, Sammy, was here. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it, buddy.
In the building.
In the